City Vision. This for the people. Shaping cities, empowering people. We shaping cities.
Inspiring people.
We shaping cities. Yeah, 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 yeah. We shaping cities steady.
Building from the base. Building from the base.
From the base, from the base,
Empowering people. Put the power in their face.
Yeah, power in their face.
Power in their face.
From the block to the top.
Yeah, we level in the space.
City Vision, we the
future. Yeah, we stepping in the place.
Yeah. Started with a spark, now the vision, vivid, living proof. From the ground to the grind, had to tighten every move. Spark, proof, grind, move. Turn the losses into lessons, now we leveling the views. Now the city seeing clearly. We the ones they gotta choose. From the pain to the purpose, put the work in with the work.
Working with the work.
Working with the word. Got to plant it in the dirt just to show them what it's worth. We shaping cities steady.
Building from the base.
Empowering people.
Put the power in their face.
Power, 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 power. Face.
Face, 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 face. From the block to the top.
Yeah, we level in the space.
City Vision. We the future.
Yeah, we stepping in a place. Every block got a plan.
Got a plan.
Got a plan.
Every plane got a plan.
Got a plan.
Got a plan.
Turn the fear into fire.
Fire don't fade.
Now we building up a legacy they never could erase.
Erase, 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 erase. We don't fall, we don't fall. Stand tall through it all. Stand tall, stand tall. Hand in hand, build a plan. Yeah, we answering the call. Answer the call. Answer the call. Answer the call. If we move it as a unit, ain't no limit, none at all.
We shaping cities steady.
Building from the base.
Empowering people.
Put the power in their face.
That power in the people.
Power in the people.
Power in the people.
From the block to the top, yeah, we level in the place.
City Vision, we the future, yeah, we stepping in a place. Shaping cities, empowering people.
Shaping cities. Oh, empowering people.
Shaping cities, empowering people. City Vision.
Mindful Mondays. Mindful Monday. Take a breath today. Not to escape the work, but to center the why behind it. Be present in your purpose. Move with intention, not urgency. Lead from peace, not pressure. Mindfulness isn't slowing down the mission, it's sharpening it. Stay grounded, stay focused, stay Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Take a breath today. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Yeah. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Take a breath today. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays.
Hey, Will.
Mindful Mondays. Take a breath today. Mindful Monday. Take a breath today. Take a breath today.
Yeah, believe it or not, it says your devices are not connected.
Today. Mindful Mondays. Mindful Mondays. Take a breath.
Okay, it's just device is not connected. So he's gonna try it again for you.
Mindful Mondays. Mindful
all right.
Mondays.
All right.
Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Mindful Monday. Take a breath today. 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 Mindful Monday. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath today. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath today. Take a take a take a take a take a
Dr. Jackson, can you all hear me?
Tavon. Yes, we can hear you now, Tavon Brooks.
So today's
Yeah, Merlin was having. Go on.
we are streaming live now. We are actually I'm on the road
that's
headed
great.
to the office. So we're kind of doing it on the fly in a on the road kind of motion. So those who are listening, there might be some technical difficulties. Bear with us. But keep in mind that the opinions and comments made on Mindful Mondays are solely those of the program host and not of any affiliated business. Jackson, I should take over because I am on the road, but we are still live. Nothing gonna stop the show.
All right. Well, we're live on the Mindful Monday show. And today, one of our old friends is rejoining us. Will Andre Owens is joining us. He was one of our housing specialists back in the day when we first started. And we're glad that he's back with us. Today's Mindful Monday show will be as power-packed as usual. We have a lot of things going on, and I tell you, we're not going to spend a lot of time talking. We're going to stop the chatter and get on with the matter. Now, we're going to have a few technical glitches. One of the glitches is that we may not see the screen exactly the way that we normally see it. But again, we want to make sure that we start the week off correctly. If you listen to Tavon, here are those broadcasting, and not necessarily Harris Stowe State University, City Visions, or the radio station BRHF. We are, though, coming to you live and in real color. Now, believe it or not, we're going to put the dynamic. If she sits down in a minute, we're going to put Marilyn Stone back on. And as many of you know, Marilyn recently joined our staff as a weather person. And she's been talking about all of the things that we have been experiencing. If you live in St. Louis, in more in any season, you can have two different kinds of weather because St. Louis weather changes just that fast. Well, Marilyn, can you tell us a little bit about today's forecast?
I would like to. I'm trying to get my slides up. It's been processing and spinning for some time.
Don't.
I'm not sure.
All right, don't worry about it. Well, just tell us, what is the weather like outside? And as soon as Tavon gets back, he'll work directly with you. What is the weather today?
Okay.
Right now.
Give me a second.
Okay, so if you can't get your slide up, we'll slides up. We understand. But what's the temperature today?
Okay.
Do you know?
Yes. For Monday, August 10th. Okay, this goes from August 10th to August 16th. The high is 94 degrees Fahrenheit,
Okay.
a low of 76, and it's mostly sunny and hot with winds around 9 miles per hour. Tuesday, the weather is pretty much the same, but I'm going to add clouds with a 20% chance of a shower or storm. Wednesday, the high is 92
Okay.
degrees with a low of 74, partly sunny with a 25% to 40% chance of scattered thunderstorms. And Thursday, the high is 89 with a 75% chance with a 75 degrees. Scattered thunderstorms expected throughout the day. Friday, a high of 95 degrees with a low of 78 degrees. It's warmer with a 35% chance of a passing shower or thunderstorm. And Saturday, a high of 94 with a low of 74 degrees. Continued heat with a 30% to a 65% chance of scattered showers. And Sunday, August 16th, high 82 degrees, low 70 degrees, mostly cloudy with a slight cool down and a 10 to 20% chance of lingering rain. I have a lot more about
Okay. It sounds like we're going to get more of what we've got to. All right, continue to go. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I have.
Go on. What were you getting ready to say?
I have my slides all ready, and I can't get them up. It's processing.
All right, don't worry.
Come back to me later.
We'll get your slides on because you are. Sure.
I have some good information for you, too.
For us.
I got some good information, too.
All right. All right. Thank you. Dr. Parr, how are you this morning? Dr. Parr, how are you this morning? Well, it seems like I can't hear you, Dr. Parr. Now, as many of you know, Dr. Parr is our resident African American history professor. And he comes to us live every Monday with something dynamic regarding African American history. To use his words, no American history is complete without African American history. Dr. Parr, are you ready now?
Yeah, I think I'm on stage now.
Dr. Parr.
I'd like to say hello to our radio audience. Can you hear me, John? John.
Great.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes. Thumbs up.
All right, if you can hear me, I'd like to say hello to our radio audience and welcome for joining us on this Mindful Monday show. A lot of information, a lot of good things happening. I'm going to start off with our word of today. Our word of today is fiasco. Fiasco is a noun. What it means is it's a thing that is a complete failure, especially in a ludicrous or humiliating way. Fiasco. F-I-A-S-C-O. It's a very interesting word because it comes from an Italian word meaning fiasco, but it doesn't mean failure. What it means is it's a bottle or a flask or ordinary flask for drinking. How it became Americanized word meaning failure. There are a lot of theories about that. And of course, there are three main theories. One is called the theatrical slang theory. The other is the drinking game theory. And the other one is just the word theory. Fiasco, again, synonyms for fiasco are catastrophe, disaster, debacle, a flop, blunder, a mess, or a word I like, a train wreck. Sentences for fiasco. The product lunch turned into a fiasco when the lights went out in the gym. Another sentence using fiasco. Poor planning turned the merger into an expensive fiasco. Another one. The Muni show on Wednesday was a fiasco because of the rain. And our last sentence for fiasco is the band's practice was a fiasco because the drill designer dropped the drill in the water. I can attest to that. Our quote for today is from Mary McLeod Bethune, a noted educator, advisor to the presidents, a person who started a university and has a university named after her that she started, Bethune-Cookman. Mary McLeod Bethune says, without faith, nothing is possible. With faith, nothing is impossible. I'll say that again, quote, without faith, nothing is possible. With faith or with it, nothing is impossible. In other words, if you begin with faith, then you can proceed and go and make the impossible possible. She was a woman who was born to former slaves. She went on to found a university and became an advisor to presidents. She believed that the ultimate power of belief to overcome systematic oppression, systematic poverty, and seemingly unsurmountable odds were based in faith. Faith for her is an active force, not a passive force, that gives one the courage to start a journey even when you cannot, or even when the odds are against you. Even when you cannot see ahead, start the journey anyway. She had faith. She said that if you had faith in God, in humanity, and in yourselves, then you can move ahead. If you do not have faith in those, then you are defeated at the very beginning. I can test examples of that because we have examples on our very show. We had faith. We had faith that the Mindful Monday show would go forward. That's why we signed on. The Mindful Monday show has now been going on for 4 years. Dr. Jackson had faith when he joined the drum corps and he listened to me. That was definitely faith. And he proceeded to change his life in terms of what he really wanted to do. And then there's Tavon Brooks, who had faith and an effort to start his particular program. So those are examples of Mary McLeod Bethune's quote in action. I want to give you a couple of highlights for August. August is considered Black August. Why Black August? Because in 1979, two brothers and two African Americans who died in prison, in San Quentin prison. This was in commemoration for them because even when in prison, they were activists for the African American cause. The brothers who this commemorated were brothers George Jackson and brother Jonathan Johnson, both of them. So the brothers in San Quentin prison commemorated Black August for them. Black August focuses in on the education and the information as far as African American history is concerned, and definitely understand, there is very little history without African American influence, about African American work in the United States, in America. African Americans have basically done much, even though they have come from being enslaved people. And of course, I want to remind you that the beginning of all of this started in late August this month in 1619. In late August of 1619, the first documented arrival of enslaved Africans from Africa at Port Comfort, Virginia, began the inception of human slavery in this country. That's all I want to give you today, except a couple of updates. First of all, the election updates, in case somebody has not said that. Amendment 4 failed. Amendment 4 actually was to focus on taking away our democratic process. And Amendment 5 also failed. That was the governor's, I guess, baby to eliminate the income tax. If you did that, if it had passed, then all the taxes and the taxation would be in the hands of our government. And that is not a good thing, because that's taking away from taxes being levied or being said by the people. That's all my highlights for today. Thank you very much. I just want to give you a thought for today. My common thought is always, you are better than you think you are. Keep working. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Parr. It is our pleasure to always listen to you. And as you Parr mentioned, when I had decided that in my life I was going to be a musician, it turned out that you said that's not exactly what you need to do with your life. And I turned it around. And thank you again. I'm publicly thanking you for making certain that I stayed on the straight and narrow. Thank you. Listen,
Well,
Tavon, did you make it to the studio yet? Did I hear his voice? Yes or no? Oh, I think he's still on his way. So we're going to alter the
yep.
program a little bit, Merlin,
Yeah.
just to show
Tavon
you how
said
flexible we
yeah.
we are and how flexible we can.
Tavon said he'd be there in about a
Yeah,
half an hour.
he has not made it to the studio.
Oh, wow. I
Okay,
hope he's
well,
okay.
I'm going to continue to. We're going to continue to. We're going to continue. Yeah, he's fine. He just has a lot to do, and if you want something done, give it to a busy person to do it because they will make sure it gets done, and they'll make sure it is quality. So that's kind of where we are. I'm going to change the order just a bit. Normally, what we do now is we have Cheryl Watts. Cheryl is not going to be with us today. She, one of her friends had a car accident. And again, just want to remind people as you're out there driving around, keep in mind that you not only have to drive for yourself, for other people, and that is always a challenge. Always a challenge. We're going to go and share our screen and information about the Mindful Monday show and how you log in. As I go down, if you look down the radio disclaimer, we have the Uplift GIFs. We haven't had that yet. We already had the word and thought for the day brought to us by none other than David Parr. And then we also had historical moments with an emphasis on African Americans. And after that, we will have right around 12:30, we'll have Dr. Cross and Dr. Peoples, and we'll have Norman Ross bringing us ancient African American history. But today, I want to spend a little more time talking about, and I'm moving it up. Let me do something funny. We never get to this part of our show because it's always at the very back end of it. And so I'm just going to do something funny for you. And I'm going to read it to you because I'm not a very good storyteller or joke teller. But these come from the files of Ron Gregory, the brother of Dick Gregory. And every now and again, he sends us something funny. A big game hunter went on a safari with his wife and his overbearing mother-in-law. And although the hunter warned everyone, especially that mother-in-law, do not leave the camp, his wife woke up in the early that morning and she discovered that her mother was missing. Rushing to her husband, she insisted that they both go and find her mother. And believe it or not, they came into a clearing not too far from the camp, and they saw the most chilling sight. The mother-in-law was backed up against a bush. It looked very, very tense. And the wife cried out, she said, "What are you going to do?" And the hunter, knowing how his mother-in-law was, said nothing. The lion got itself into this predicament, and that lion is going to have to get itself out of this mess. So again, that's from the files of Ron Gregory. Ron, of course, is a much better storyteller than me. And again, I don't apologize because that's not one of my fortes. I'm sorry, that was my phone, which I should have had on silence. However, it's one of our people trying to get in. And what I want to try to do, if it'll come up, and it's not coming up. So I'm going to stop sharing. There it is. I'm going to stop sharing, go back to the show, and I know that wasn't very funny, Merlin. However, I can't tell jokes very well. So you understand that.
It's like your humor. It's pretty good.
Well, it's I know it's humorous, but some when Ron Gregory tells those kind of jokes, people just rolling in the aisles. I don't have that. I don't have that ability to do that.
I thought you did a good job, John.
Yes,
Dr. Parr, it is just about school. All right, okay, good. That's fine. Dr. Parr, it is just about school time. And I know that Cheryl wanted me to remind people, because she's on a mission to try to help her friend who was involved in a car accident. Are there any other tidbits of advice you'd give people that are, how shall I say, getting their children or they're getting themselves ready for school?
Well, yeah, now is the time to really focus. Now is the time to really focus in on what you need to do for your kids for school. It's very important because it'll be here. I know a lot of the kids spent their summers enjoying themselves. However, I talked to my grandkids, and I suggested to them, have fun, but don't forget to also do some studying during the summer, because when you go back, you want to be ready. My granddaughter will be going into the high school, and she's already excited, but she's also flustered. So we've talked about what it takes to function at the beginning and how to go about doing things. And of course, naturally, I warned her about the other things that occur. I also talked to my grandson about starting fast and continuing that process. Now, parents can help their students by making sure that when they begin school, when they come home, they have a nice place to study, a nice place to focus, so that they can begin their educational journey in a very positive way. I know school will start for my granddaughter tomorrow. I'm not sure about the schools here in the St. Louis area because I haven't kept up with them for a while. But I know now is the time people are getting ready.
It's also important to meet the teacher. And if your child has special needs, to make sure the teacher understands that. If they have to take medication during the day, or just what their problems might be. And always be in touch with that teacher.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point. Good point.
Well, thank both of you because it is important that we support our young people as they relate to going back to school. Now, have already returned to school, and I think a number of them, I think the St. Louis Public Schools, if I'm not mistaken, they go back on the 24th. I'm not totally certain, but before the show is over, I will look that up. School is a place, and you have to emphasize it, a place for learning. Children get socialized and so forth. So, but the most important thing that you need to do as a parent, and from my perspective, please listen to your child. If the child is saying, I don't like this school, there's something wrong with the teachers there's something wrong, listen to the child. Now, you may not be able to change anything immediately, but that child is saying it in their own way, I need some help.
Mm-hmm.
It may be something deeper than just school, but if a child is complaining, especially after the first couple of days, then something is amiss, and you need to just sit down and listen. Many times we do not take enough time to listen. Listening is the beginning of understanding. Sometimes I can't see what you're saying, but I can hear and see sometimes. So that, as a parent, that's always important. Dr. Parr, as a counselor, I know that you had to deal with school bullying. Do you have any advice for parents who they think that their child may be a bully or may be bullied? Any suggestions about that? Because that's a real big issue. It's been that child, those children, and that parent. So
Well, the thing
what
is,
what
make
about
sure,
that bullying stuff that goes on,
yeah,
particularly at the beginning of school?
make sure, make sure you, again, as you said, make sure you talk to your child every day. And if there is a situation or they're starting to hold back from school or just not really wanting to go there, that's the time to go talk to the teacher. And as far as bullying is concerned, again, an
Right.
opportunity to talk to the
You're
administrator.
breaking you're breaking up.
Okay, as far as bullying is concerned, that's the time to talk to the teacher and the principal about issues in the school and what is going on so that they can be aware and they can start taking
Okay.
advantage
I think
of the opportunities.
and as Merlin has said, make certain that you know and can touch bases with the teacher. Now with technology, some teachers and some schools even say, here's the time that this teacher will be able to talk with you. And they give you a number at the school, and you're able to talk to that teacher about what's going on. Also, and so that is an awesome thing for the schools to begin to use technology in a user-friendly manner. It's not parents against the schools or schools against the parents. It is a partnership so that our children learn as much as they can when they can.
I'd like to add
Right in a
something.
couple of minutes.
I'd like to add something, John.
Okay.
Middle school, I think, is the
Okay.
most difficult for a lot of kids because they're no longer the kids in the lower grades and they're not in high school. Their bodies have changed. They start looking at boys or girls in a different way. They also know that they have their own brain and they don't have to think
Mhm.
like their parents. it's difficult for a lot of kids and for some teachers. So if you have kids going to middle school,
Yeah, I
just
mean, you're
make-
absolutely right.
I was like,
Yeah,
just make sure.
I had the
Go ahead.
no, I was going to say, I didn't mean to cut you off. I think we're still having a few technical difficulties with the sound, but I was a principal of a middle school for 10 plus years. And one of the things that always would come out, you don't understand me.
That's right.
And in 1 minute, the child would say, treat me like an adult. And then the next minute, Dr. Parr, they were saying, you want me to do too much. Treat me like the kid that I am. And so the child themselves is in a state of flux.
That's right.
And so that ability to navigate themselves, is very, very difficult. We are waiting on the chiropractor, Dr. Peoples, and I don't want to start anything until she comes. We'll give her about 30 more seconds, and if not, then we'll go and make sure that we're able to move forward. Because and I learned this from being in a performing arts group. Maryland, the show must go on, even if everybody stumbles and bumbles or whatever. The show must go on, and Dr. Parr understands that probably as well as anybody else. Again, remember the views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the host and guests, and do not reflect the views of the station, its management, or its affiliates, City Vision, Harris Stowe, or any of our affiliates. You were getting ready to say something, Dr. Parr.
No, I was going to say, yeah, the show definitely goes on. I've been in situations where you had to really perform at a I guess a situation or a venue that was not quite up to I'm not going to say par, but up to standards. Performing on a racetrack, the show must go on. You adjust your show. And so those things are very, very important. As a lot of African Americans have said in their quotes, you keep going and you do not give up. Keep going and you do not give up. The show must go on.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the moment that we've all been waiting for. He's back in the studio, Mr. T.B. Brooks, our host. And
I'm back in the studio, but I have to say that there's an outage of network in my area, but the show must go on. And I really love it.
Well, I'm not certain if Dr. Peoples will even be able to get on today. I am not sure if there's an electrical outage in where the studio is hosted. So what I'm going to do, and Merlin and Dr. Parr, if I go too long or if he's able to get the chiropractor person on, and there's another young lady that's coming, a therapist that's coming on. If he's able to get those, you tell me to stop the report that I'm going to be doing in just a second. One of the pieces that I bring every single time that we have on the Mindful Monday show, I bring in the information that will help some of the not-for-profit groups do well. And Andre Owens used to work with me as we brought in uh, people to tell them about proposals and so forth. So I'm going to take a moment and go to the screen, and I'm going to talk to you about a couple of funding possibilities. Okay, I'm doing the sharing here. In just a minute, you will see a couple of things. Now, I'm not sure if this is big enough for you. We talked last time about the Wahlberg Youth Foundation. Can you see that, Mr. Dr. Parr?
I can't. Now I can see it.
Well, do I need to make it bigger or what?
It would help to make it a little bit bigger.
Let's see if we can make it come out. Okay, let me see if I can do it. I will make certain that
Well, as long as you pull it up on your screen, we can probably adjust.
That you get it, because it is the Wahlberg Youth Foundation, Jim Wahlberg and youth, and smaller towns in around. Well, yeah, but I want to make sure you can adjust. But I'm thinking about our audience out there. First of all, you have to have a 501c3, not be a 501c3 not-for-profit organization, and you can get funding up to $50,000. Normally, however, though, they run the range between 10,000, around 10. Not, but again, many of the churches, you have to disclose if you've had prior grant support. And if you have to tell them how you use the money and so forth. But the grants typically range from $10,000 to $50,000. You can do a lot, and the funding folk, they actually prioritize programs that provide sustained engagement and measurable outcomes for youth. In other words, what if they give you the money, what will be the results? And will those results be sustainable? So that's the Wahlberg Foundation. The next one that I'm gonna pull up, see if I can get. think this one might do better. We'll see. Because yes, this is one that I've talked to you before about, but I want to many of the persons in our listening audience and in our community, at least, are over there seniors. And it's called the Seniors Community Revitalization and Development Fund. And it's to improve the public health system infrastructure to better serve residents that are 55 years and older, and help groups that promote transparency and accountability for the programs. And again, those three areas are transportation, safety, and health navigation. And first of all, this is ahead of time because the request for proposals open through the Deaconess Foundation at or around September the 1st. Make no mistake about it, the request for proposals ends September 30th. So you have about 29 days to put your proposal together. But if you're smart like Miss Stone, you would think about what you're going to write about now and begin to start your proposal immediately so that when September rolls around, you can look again at the guidelines, and so that you'd have a couple of weeks to straighten things out. Mm-hmm. And I say straighten things out because a lot of not-for-profits, as they should be, are they have the boards and they have to go to the boards and have the boards vote on it and so forth and so on. And so we're looking forward to helping folk. If you have any questions about this, I would say call the Deaconess Foundation. And if you to see this particular grant information, if you'll just call us or email the Mindful Monday show, we'll be glad to send the information to you. But again, you have to be focused on transportation of elderly, the safety, and health navigation. And so that's kind of where we are. Let me see if I can go back now. I'm gonna stop sharing for just a moment because there's another site that I want to share with you. And this particular site actually gives you data about forthcoming pieces. Oh, there she is, Dr. Peoples. I'm sorry, we didn't see you at exactly the time, and I know that you're punctual, but I also know that your patients always come first. So the show had to go on a little bit without you. But right now, we take off our hats to you, and the stage is yours.
Hello, everyone. Greetings, greetings, greetings. I am Dr. Danielle Peebles, the Black Radio Hall of Fame resident chiropractor. And as always, it is wonderful to be in this space with you again. Being that we're in August, we are in the season of going back to school. We did mention that last week. However, I also wanted to conclude. Well, we're not going to conclude it because going back to school as well. All month, I think some students are going back as late as the 27th. Thereabouts to school. However, I wanted to talk about today chiropractic, stress, going back to school, and our educators. Now, we are often talking about what the students need in preparation for going back to school, but we shouldn't forget about what the educators need. Recall a couple of weeks ago, I mentioned 3 things as to the categories of which stress falls under. Does anyone remember what those 3 categories fall under? Stress falls under these 3 categories: You all like, do I remember last week? Okay. Does anyone remember one of the things that I said stress falls under? I made you chant it 3 times. You said, and that meant nothing, Dr. Peoples. We were just participating. Brain body chemistry. That sounds familiar? Brain body chemistry. Stress falls underneath those 3 things. And although we talked about it with respect to intimacy last time, this time we're going to talk about it with respect to preparing for school, brain body chemistry, and the stress. See, our educators are getting ready to enter into a relatively, and it depends on the environment, but they're getting ready to enter into a relatively stressful environment. But are they prepared to go into those environments? As they prepare for their school year, chiropractic should be a part of that preparation, not only gaining and acquiring supplies for the school year, not only decorating your room to receive your students, but are you physically, mentally, emotionally prepared to go into those classrooms? Chiropractic is going to be one of those tools, one of those resources you should tap into as you prepare. Now, what does it do for you to have chiropractic as a part of that? One, it's going to help you stand on your feet. I am aware that many of my educators that come through here have to do a lot of standing. Are your feet prepared for you to stand? Is your back prepared for you to stand? Are your hips prepared? There are a lot of things that take place while you're standing and having to be in front of those students. As you're dealing with home stress as well as physical stress, your health stress, that will in turn determine how well you respond to new stresses. You have existing stress already, but there are new stress. You do not know your students yet, and you do not know what stress those students bring into your classroom. So being prepared for it is the best way to go into your school year. Now, here's the thing. I like telling you what chiropractic can do, but I think you benefit better when I bring people along to also give their perspective. I am a product of the St. Louis Public School District. And one of the schools that I attended before I transferred into the Magnet program was Ashland Elementary. And here with me today, I have the principal, Dr. Paula Bodie, here with me to talk about the benefits of chiropractic, not only as educator or for herself as the principal, but in addition to that, she's going to talk about the benefits she has seen overall from her educators in the school. I have had the opportunity to take care of at least a third of her institution, of her educators. So she has seen benefits on multiple levels, not only from where I stand with, oh, they're breathing better, they're sleeping better, but she has seen productivity improve. So I'm not going to go on without further ado. I'm going to bring on Dr. Paula Bodie, and she's going to tell us more about who she is and what she does.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. My name is I am the principal at Ashland Elementary School. I am a 35-year veteran of the education institution. And as an educator, being a woman of a certain age and a certain size, chiropractic services were absolutely necessary for me as a human being, because just like I asked my teachers to make sure that they are prepared to receive students, my staff is my classroom. And so I needed to be prepared to receive them. And so there's an old African saying that asks, how are the children? And in order to know the health of the children, you have to know the health of the adults. And so I recommend for everybody to come see Dr. Peoples, because getting aligned means that you are looking at your own self from head to toe, and you are now prepared to have something to give, because pouring from an empty cup doesn't increase any outcome for our students.
Speaking of outcomes, talk about what have you seen your educators, how did they perform? What was their outcome? What was their productivity looking like?
So when I have teachers that are overly stressed and living life and life is lifing, they are about a D. They are showing up every day, but they're dragging in and they're dragging out. And it's just, I'm teaching this lesson. I hope y'all get this. Come on, y'all, we got to get here. But after coming and seeing Dr. Peoples and having her work with them and work on their systems and them understand what's going on with their bodies, my teachers are now walking in. Today was their first day back. They were glad to be in the building. They came skipping in. Everybody was, hey, welcome back. Hey, welcome back. Now, this is a staff of 50 people. they have now moved themselves into a space where the new year is possible for them. So they make it possible for the students.
Throughout the school year, you have these beings that bring in a lot of germs. Okay, you call them children, I call them little germ factors. Now, the little germ factors not only stop when they bring them into the classroom, but now the teacher, if her immune system, which is impacted by how well she can stand there, her aches, her pains, all of that makes an impact on her immune system. And if her spine is not aligned and her immune system is working at a low function, then she's going to receive all those germs. And then now we're going to have her increasing the number of days she needs to take off because she is sick. Have you seen a change in the sick days, the number of sick days from the educators that are getting chiropractic care versus those who were not? What was the difference you saw?
I've seen a drastic decrease in the number of students that need, the number of teachers that needed to take off for extended periods of time, even when they had classrooms that were full of sick children, because their immune systems were straightened out, they were aligned and ready for the work. They didn't catch the colds. They didn't get the long-term diseases. You know, like literally my staff attendance last school year was 98.4%, which is one of the best. And I had a teacher that was out for surgery. And so she's the gap. So everybody was there every day except her because she had to have surgery. She was at home. So this makes a huge difference in what we can do and what we then have to give to our students.
Giving to our students, creativity. Did you find that they were able to be more creative? Were they able to produce new results versus, hey, let's try this? Were they able to give you something different besides I come to work, I'm able to produce what you want me to do, and I get the students off? Were they able to give you new ideas, new ways to solve conflicts?
So those were the things that I saw, the separation between those that have chiropractic services and those that do not. The teachers that have participated with having their bodies handled properly, the level of creativity was really outstanding. I had teachers in kindergarten and first grade who went to state competition and like got money as a result because they did so well and the students did so well. So those teachers produce better outcomes for students. So I have one classroom, 78% of her students are proficient and advanced. And she's one of those go-getters that everything is in order, everything is lined up. She comes to check on her body, check on her health. And when she comes into the classroom, it explodes.
See, here's the thing. I didn't want you to just hear about educators receiving chiropractic care because it makes them better. You have the principal. We have the one that is over the educators to vouch for how much better they are as educators, how much better they are in their private lives, and how much better they are for the children. We cannot be present for the children and expect them to do well if we can't show up and be our best selves. Are there any questions for us? This is the purpose. Do you have any questions or any thoughts about that?
Well, how many of you have had chiropractic services?
Oh,
You all can't see me, but I have had a lot of chiropractic. I mean, I have a lot of questions, but I'm having technical difficulties. So, but I was once in an accident. They gave me chiropractic services, but even before chiropractic, because I'm a vegan, I'm all about health. So I kind of felt like that is a necessity. The stress we go through, we drive in our car every day. The little germs you talked about that come in the house every day, or all of that. A chiropractor helped me with a lot of just extra, just my life. I'm a vegan. I eat healthy. I like to keep my body stress-free. I don't like it. And chiropractor actually helped me de-stress, if I can say that. And I actually seen the work happen when I had the accident, and the chiropractor actually showed me my alignment in my back from where it was to where it ended up after about 6 weeks of therapy. So I'm all for it.
And if you know an educator who could benefit from this, which is every single one of them that you know, you need to specifically refer them to me. I would love to have them, okay? But get into the chiropractic office and be consistent. You cannot ask for consistency from your students if you're not consistently taking care of yourself. Chiropractic shows up best when you're consistent with your therapy, with your treatments as you come in, and then you can get the benefits that you're looking for. So having those spotchy, I'll show up this week, but next week. Now, sometimes we can't help what our schedules are. My educators, especially the dedicated educators, they will stay at their school until the last child has left. Therefore, there's no time. But I run late hours because I keep my educators in mind. So I'll be here till 6:30, 7 o'clock if I need to, if that is the time that they're getting out from school. So it's not only that I'm here during the day, but I am here for those who are working and need to see me after school. And so they'll end up having their best sleep. And guess what? Now they're ready for the rest of the day.
I do have a question for you.
Yes.
The question for you is, so a health and wellness, that's a lifestyle if you really want to adapt it to work for you. It's not something that happens overnight. And one of the challenges that health enthusiasts are finding out is that the marketing for health and wellness is not as acceptable as you see that chocolate cake sitting on the table compared to an apple in place of it. So what are some of your methods of marketing when it comes to health and wellness, specifically dealing with the chiropractic? Because a lot of people don't know the effects of what it can do to you. So how do you market that to the public to get them more interested in chiropractic? And before you answer, Miss Baylock, you do look good. I started taking this selfie. I got you, okay? I had to point that out. I got you. But to the question, what are some of your marketing strands that you all use?
When it comes to chiropractic and gaining people or getting them to come into the office, I have to first find out what's important to them. What's important to one person is not important to the other. So I do not have a blanket statement to give to one person or the other, because one person may come in. I've had a person come in, for example, it was important for her to be able to get on her knees and pray. Whereas another person simply wanted to be able to walk through the mall with her grandchildren and not have to take a break and have to sit down. And then again, another person wanted to be able to simply perform their craft and enjoy their workouts better. So everyone has a different focus. Therefore, I learn the person. Then I can show you how it benefits you. But here's the thing also for is consistency, because you said sometimes they're encouraged more so because the cake is convenient versus an apple. One of the things we work on is discipline. And then there's this saying, you plan your work, then work the plan. You being healthy is not something you do on the fly. You have to plan for it. You cannot just walk into your week and think everything is going to fall into place. So over the weekend, you need a plan. What does Monday, Tuesday look like? And then you schedule in, chiropractic needs to be this week. Or as some of my patients do, they'll say, okay, I plan on going to the gym these days, and I know I'm going to lift heavy, or I'm going to be extremely active on this day. Let me schedule Dr. Peebles on Thursday. Mm-hmm. Then that way I can mess up, she can fix it, and then I can have a good weekend.
Understood. I like that.
A lot of women who have had a lot of babies, their pelvic floor is weakened. Of course, there are exercises for it, but as far as chiropractic, do you see women like that?
I do. And it also, so even with the women who've had a lot of babies, they're not aware that each pregnancy actually did a little bit more trauma to their hips more than they realize. And it shows up on the x-rays. You can see the calcifications that are appearing from the numerous babies, especially if they're back to back. You can see them on radiographs. However, with respect to chiropractic specifically, we maintain the balance of those hips. And when you put the hips back into balance, the ligaments that were stretched to deliver and to address the stress of the growing baby, they need to be back in place. So by me aligning the joints, the ligaments are allowed to heal. Once those ligaments are in place, that also allows what's above the hips to remain in place. So the hips is part of the foundation of the spine. And if we're not taking care of the foundation, then you'll see cracks occur throughout the spine or cracks throughout your health. The spine have nerves that come out that goes to your cardiovascular system, your integumentary system. When I say integumentary, we're talking about your skin. It has nerves that come out to the digestion. All the systems are impacted by that spine that's above the hips. So those that have had multiple babies, not only were their hips affected, but the spine was affected. And getting chiropractic care will improve their function overall. I tell people what goes in does have to come out somewhere. And if you're not getting adjusted and your digestive tract is not moving and functioning as it should, it will come out through your skin. It will come out through your mouth. It will come out through your eyes. So if you're having horrible breath or you noticing that your skin is having more acne, rashes, that's your digestive tract coming out through your skin. It's got to come out somewhere if it didn't come out the other end. Any other questions? Well, if I don't have any other questions from you, I am not going to keep you much longer.
Yeah, one
Go ahead. Oh, I didn't hear what you said, Dr. Jackson.
I just had one question.
Go ahead.
Yes, I had one question, and my reception is not that great where I'm sitting. That is schools with a day of interaction with you. For instance, can you go to school and talk to and do a chiropractic update with some of the staff people? Because that's what Dr. Cross was asking me if you could do that. So I said, I'll ask the question.
Can I come out, go on location and go to the schools and speak with educators? Is that what you're asking me? Because it was kind of blotchy. I just want to make sure.
Yes, ma'am. And so
invite me. I come out, I put on a show for you. I guarantee you. And it will be interactive. You get to pretend to be the chiropractor. I'll also teach you how to see the things that I see from my perspective. So I tend to have fun with those engagements. So please call me, invite me out. I work with the children and engage with them. So Dr. Cross has seen me work with the high schoolers and get them interacting and learning about their bodies as well as the educators. So bring me out. I would love it.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that he's at the hospital with his wife, and he said, "You make sure you and so that's why you saw me disappear and come back." He said, "Let her know we need her in these schools, doing stuff, helping kids, helping teachers, but more importantly, helping the administrators too." So, well, he knows your worth.
He does. In addition, we cannot forget the parents. Even though you put me in front of the educators, and even though you put me in front of the students, you have to put me in front of the parents, because one of the things I have learned in my years of practice and working with children, I cannot be effective for that child if I am not effective with the parents. The parents are the head of the snake. I got to take care of the head of the snake before I can take care of the rest. And once the children see, and then it's not always the parent, it's whoever that child listens to, because it might be grandma. Mm-hmm. Now, if that child is more responsive to grandma than it is to the mother or to the father, then I need to adjust grandma first and work my way down to the child, because then the child says, well, if it's okay with grandma and grandma is good with it, then it is okay with me. So it is a whole environment. I have to take a whole community. It can't be just the teachers, can't be just the students. They get to learn, because I get to be like McDonald's in front of the children. I give them their first exposure to chiropractic. Oh, I remember this. And then they'll look for it as they get older. I remember learning about it. So let me be McDonald's to them and get me in the classrooms. But don't forget to bring the parents along so that I can be the most impactful with them.
Dr. Peoples, You are always 99.9% of the time right on target. That's why we love you, and that's why you the official chiropractic of the National Black Radio Hall of Fame. And we look forward and tell your guest she's doing a great job. And let's give her a round of applause, both of you.
Thank you.
All right.
And
Listen,
greetings to you, DeAndrea. I just have to say hi, my girl.
Well, DeAndrea is also part of the medical segment of this morning, and she is going to tell you who she is. She will be back with us along with you next week, Dr. Peoples. She'll be back next week to talk to folk, and we're still working on making sure we can get all the questions that our guests want answered, because we got about 5 or 6 more for you, Dr. Peoples, but you be on the whole time. So we're going to ease some more of them your way next week. So don't run. Dr.
All right, then. I will see you all next week, and it's always
DeAndre Blaylock Solar. Will you introduce yourself?
Yes.
And tell people about your counseling and your help this audience.
Okay, wonderful. Well, good afternoon, everyone. And whatever time it is you're watching this, greetings to you. My name is DeAndrea Blaylock Solar. I am a licensed clinical social worker and certified sex therapist in the St. Louis area. And so I had the pleasure of appearing with Dr. Danielle a little while ago. And during that segment, I talked about the connection with chiropractic and sexuality and how stress can impact our expressions of sex and sexuality. And so I wanted to kind of take a step back and ask this question of what is sex therapy? I know that there are not that many sex therapists overall in the city of St. Louis. There are probably about 30 or so certified sex therapists. And black sex therapists, there are 4 certified black sex therapists in the state, and 3 of them are in St. Louis. And so I just wanted to, like
so
I said,
you're very rare.
Yes, very rare, unfortunately. But we're hoping to widen the field and increase it so that more people can get the help and support that they need. So, like I said, wanting to take a step back, we kind of jumped right in. I had my vulva puppets last week and everything. And so I want to take a step back, like I said, and ask this question: what is sex therapy? And so a lot of times when people hear sex therapy, they get different images in their head, whether it's the mother from the Meet the Fockers franchise, if it is something that they've seen on TV. And so, what sex therapy is well, let me even take it a step further. To be a sex therapist, you are a licensed mental health professional. So, there are some people who may provide sex coaching or other types of support. However, sex therapy is the treatment of diagnosable sexual dysfunction. So that could be inability or challenges with orgasm. That could be when working with people in relationship, mismatches with sexual desire. That could also be confidence as it relates to expressing yourself sexually. And so, my path to being a certified sex therapist, I'm a licensed clinical social worker in the state of Missouri. And then I had additional training to be certified through an organization called the American Association of Sexuality Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. And like I said, in St. Louis, there are about 30 or so certified sex therapists, but only about 4 black ones in the state. And so it's important that we are able to understand the differences. What is it that we're looking for, and who has the training to help us and support us in that way. And so, like I said, there are some people who may be sex coaches, and not to diminish that field because their work is equally incredible and important. But a sex therapist is someone who may be able to help you look at the root of a situation, um, and figure out the purpose or the motivation behind what's happening in your life. Whereas a coach is often more forward focused, and they're looking at what can we do to move forward. However, sometimes if you're working with a coach and you do need to look at the root of a thing, they may refer you to a therapist. And so that's no different whether you're working with a career coach or a relationship coach. If it gets to a point, they may then refer you to a relationship therapist, and that's where I'm able to come in. So, another question that people often ask me is why in the world would someone go to a sex therapist, especially when sexuality is something that can feel so taboo to discuss? And so, like I said, a lot of the issues that people come to me for can be related to low desire or inability to orgasm or challenges with orgasm, where someone feels that they're taking too long to orgasm or they're orgasming too quickly more than what they're comfortable with, as well as issues related to confidence. And then relationship challenges. I work with individuals and those in all types of relationships in my practice, and I'm able to help them work toward their self defined goals. And it's incredibly rewarding work. So, those are some of the reasons why someone may go to a sex therapist. And then again, how can you find one? So, like I mentioned, I'm certified through ASECT, the American Association of Sexuality Educators, Counselors, and Therapists. And through their website, there is a find a therapist option where you're able to locate all of the certified sexuality professionals in your state, well, by state, and then you can narrow down your choices from there. We are not in all 50 states. However, we do have therapists and counselors who are, and educators who are licensed in multiple states. So I'm only licensed to work with clients in the state of Missouri. However, there are some people who are licensed to work with folks in Missouri and Nevada and Illinois and so on and so forth. So you can get the help that you need, but a great place to start would be looking at the ASECT website, and that's aasect.org, and using the find a therapist or find a professional function that's built in there. And so, yeah, like I said, last time we kind of jumped right in it, but I wanted to take a step back and really discuss what is sex therapy, why would someone seek to work with a sex therapist, and how you can find one. So, thank you for this time. Do you have any questions for me today?
If we do not have questions now, can we call or get those questions and later on have you come back and answer all said questions?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm always love to ask a sex therapist moment because, like I said, there are so few available and so few opportunities to talk with someone in my field. So, yes, any questions that you have, I would love to come back and discuss various topics related to sex and sexuality, whether that's actually discussing the differences between sex and sexuality, and also answering other specific questions you may have.
How could they get in contact with you?
Yes.
So how do we schedule? I know Dr. Cross would love to have you on every week, but I know that your schedule won't permit that. So how often during the month can we have you?
Well, we talked about maybe me pre-recording some sessions. So that is the plan moving
Good.
forward, where I'll record a quick segment that you all can play. But if there are specific questions that you have, you can just email them to me and then I can answer those. But for the public, for those watching, you can follow me on Instagram and Threads at Sankofa Sex. That's S as in Sam, Ankofa Sex. And I'm pretty responsive and on both of those platforms and post pretty regularly.
Well, it's been our pleasure to have you on our show. And the Mindful Monday show is even now even more mindful, just taboo.
Yeah, exactly. And so actually that's a topic that I'm wanting to talk about, mindfulness and sex and
So
sexuality
again,
and sex.
thank you so much.
You're welcome. I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye.
Thank you. Tavon, are we pulling up Dr. Sage Norman Ross with the ancient Kemet history?
He's not online yet.
Egyptians and African.
So he's not online.
Well, then we can continue. Now, I've already done my segment, and one of the things that we are working with Lewis, Dr. Cross and myself are working, trying to work with a group of people from St. Louis public schools, and we said to them that we would have a couple of online conversations with our audience and with our and with our staff regarding what can we do to help St. Louis public schools. Now, some of you are saying, well, what is he talking about? St. Louis public schools is slated to close between 10 and 15 schools. And anytime you start talking about closing a school, that decimates a community. And so we've started to do some work and do some work to help. And so we're going to be asking our audiences to give us a call or better yet, to send suggestions to us and we'll forward those. I'd like to do some sharing though, because we've already started. There's a very good quote that that we start our piece with in terms of working with St. Louis Public. It is from Charles and the Tale of Two Cities. And the quote goes like this. It was the best of, know that quote in the audience?
Yes.
If you do, and here's the piece here. It was the best of times, it was the worst of times. And the superintendent, Dr. Myra Berry, said that the changes that they were trying to make are long overdue, and they're long overdue because the population that the city St. Louis Public Schools serve, that population has dwindled. And because it's dwindled, they are they are considering closing a number of schools. So I'm going to just take a minute or two until Norman gets here, Sage Norman Ross gets here. This is what was advertised. If you can see my screen, this is what came from the St. Louis Public Radio, KWMU. They're slated to close up to 22 schools in 2027. There's a new draft plan. And remember, the word is draft. There's nothing sacrosanct about the plan yet. In other words, it's not edged in stone, but the Board of Education has from now until next August to put together a program for the 2027-28 school year. And throughout they've already started having, how shall I say it nicely, community meetings about this. Hey, Norman.
Hey, John. Hey, can you send me the link?
Well, I went to one of the, had the public come in and they were talking about it. They were saying 17 schools were closing. And the 3 high schools, Sumner, Soldan, and Vashon, they weren't closing. But Sumner and Soldan, they were not going to attend the buildings. They had to do a lot of work in those 2 schools. They will be at other locations until January. But Vashon starts at the regular time. One thing I noticed about it was they had 3 different plans, A, B, and C. And the plans, all of them included preschoolers. So 3 and 4-year-olds will be in the school also. And I thought it was really interesting because the Don't Leave Any Kids Behind was a failing program. I wanted to see what they were going to do with the preschoolers. One of the things that bothers me is our kids are on when you take in terms of education, they are really needy. And I'm not sure that the programs are going to accommodate that, but I hope so. They're behind academically in a lot of areas, and the pandemic did not help. They need tutoring after school. They need a lot. Okay, I'll go further. I taught middle school for the first time when I moved here, and I was at one of the Imagine schools. There were 8th grade boys who could not add 3-digit numbers. We're setting them up to fail. We're setting them up to be criminals because what is there for them if they can't add 3-digit numbers? So I hope they're going to address that. Dr. Parr, you have a lot of experience. What do you think about the new school proposals?
I have not looked at the school proposals for the St. Louis Public Schools, but I, being a product of the St. Louis Public Schools, I can understand what you're saying because in a lot of cases, some of the educators don't have the overall experience to focus in on what needs to be done in the classroom. In a classroom, there's a lot of individual work that needs to be done with the students. That's very difficult when you have a classroom of 25 and 35 students. I know at one point when I worked in the St. Louis Public Schools, I had a classroom of 35 seventh graders. And that was a very interesting experience. I can say that about 50% of that classroom ended up graduating and going to college. And that was a positive thing, because you need to take the opportunity to do something totally different than what the colleges sometimes teach you. One of the things that I always made it personal to do was to make it to every student's home who was in my classroom. I did that for like 7 years. Every student, I knew their parents, I knew what their home situation was, so therefore I knew how to handle them individually. And I think those kind of individual things can help a great deal. Now, I'm not advocating that everyone do that, but that was what I wanted to do. That was how I began to change those students' lives in my classroom. And that becomes important. Sometimes when the students look at you and you invest in their education by making it a little more personable, then they take it upon themselves to want to develop the education that becomes very important for them.
You're right. When I taught in California, I had 15 kids in my classroom. And I also had a teacher's assistant. When the kids acted up, okay, we all sat in a room. The teacher, the principal, the vice principal, the social worker, everybody. And they identified what the behavior problem was. And then everybody in the room got an assignment. It worked so well, but the classrooms were small.
I think
smallness does make a difference.
That's definitely true. But I also think when you make the personable touch to your classroom, then that helps a great deal. If the parent is backing, if you go to the home and you know what kind of conditions there happen to be in the home, like I went to a young man's home and found out that he was living with his grandmother. And how would I be able to find that information out and work with the grandmother and work with him if I had not visited his home? And therefore, it was important for me as an educator to do exactly that. And that's, as I said before, I did that for 7 years when I was teaching at the middle school level and at the elementary school level. I visited every home, and it became important.
Such a difference.
Hey, if I could interject, this is Will Andre Owens. I'm not an educator, but I came up in the city public school system, and I feel you guys did an amazing job.
Hold tight. We're not finished yet.
But what has changed since the 70s and what have you? Were
just hold for a minute. We'll talk.
Okay.
Tavon.
Yeah. All right.
Tavon, put on Norman Ross. Sage Norman Ross. It's his time. Norman, can you hear me? Yeah, put on Norman Ross.
Still having technical difficulties. I can't see.
Okay, I'll see if I can
Okay,
pull him up.
I'll see if I can
There he is.
pull him up.
Will, I still want to hear what you have to say.
Sage.
Yes.
Well, you may want to, however, we'll get to Will near the end. He's gonna deal with us in the closing, okay? However, Norman.
Yes. Can you hear me?
We're still having trouble with Norman. Norman?
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yes.
sir. And as a matter of fact, it is your time, sir, to greet your public.
Oh, okay. Can you hear
So
me?
please get started.
Oh, okay. Yes, I want to give a
yes.
shout out.
Will, you'll be making some comments near the end.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. I want to give a shout out to my Mindful Monday podcast audience, as well as my host, my fellow host here. And where we left off last Monday was literally toward the end of the 18th dynasty. We were talking about the defamation of ancient African history. And what we were trying to emphasize was the importance of African Americans to literally save their ancient African cultural heritage, because there are a lot of groups out here that are trying to hijack it and claim it as theirs. Right now, we have an issue with the country of Egypt, which is saying that the ancient Egyptians looked similar to what the Arabic population of Egypt looks now. And before that, all the way up to the late 1960s, there was a situation where European Americans and Europeans were indicating that the ancient Egyptian people were a European ethnic population. And so we had, for over 400 years, we had this hijacking of our ancient cultural heritage, because in no way possible could the history say that the first civilization in world history was a Black African civilization. Over 3,000 year history, from 3100 BCE to 30 BCE. 30 BCE was the death of Cleopatra VII. But all of this history, over a 3,000 year history of ancient African history, is being hijacked today in 2026 by Europeans, as well as the Arabic government in Egypt. And we have to speak to this. This is very important that we speak to this. We call this, and let me pull up my slideshow here. Oh, okay. We stopped last Monday with the defamation, and here you can see a portrait, a wooden statue of King Tutankhamun. And as you can see, he is a, Black African. But we have, and this is his face mask, and these are statues of Tutankhamun in a, this was in a 1960s out of the National Geographic magazine. These were pictures of Tutankhamun, actual wooden statues coming out of his tomb. So as you can see, he was of Black African ethnicity. And here's a side view of his statue. But on the cover,
we're not seeing any pictures, Norman.
Oh, okay.
We're not seeing anything.
Let's see.
So I know where Tavon, where we're broadcasting from, they're having sort of like a little thunderstorm, and so the technology has been real bad today, and so that may account for it. But try re-showing that information.
Oh, okay. Are you saying at another time?
No, I'm saying try re-showing it now.
Oh, okay.
Try doing it now. Pulling it up now.
I'm sharing my screen.
And we see nothing.
Oh, okay. Let's see. Oh, let's see. Let's see.
John, mine I think has uploaded.
And I know it's been challenging all morning, and people have tried to fill in because, like I said, we've got some thunder and some bad connections and all of that business.
Right.
But we want to make sure that our audience can appreciate what you're trying to do, and so. Let's just have while you're sitting there, let's just have a real talk. Why is this whole notion of the ethnicity of ancient Kemet important? Why is that important?
Okay, number one, because almost
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Evidently he can't.
John, can you hear me?
Now I can hear you.
Oh, okay. Apparently, the problem is that the justification for slavery and the colonizing of Africa was that. I'm sorry. Can you hear me, John?
Norman, we hear you.
Oh, okay. The colonizing
is very broken up.
Oh, okay.
No.
You're clear on my part, though.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure how many people can even hear me.
Okay. I can hear you, John. I can hear you, and
African Americans only think. All right.
John, you're breaking up. But
then that means you need to respond to my question, so we can see if we can hear you.
Yeah, your voice was broken up, John.
Yours isn't, Norman.
Okay, let me say this: the reason that there is an urgent
major concern, particularly for persons of color. Why is that a major concern?
Okay, because basically the justification for slavery and the colonization of Africa was based on the fact that these were an inferior, subhuman people that were devoid of any aspects of civilization. And to demonstrate this, you have always seen that in terms of Africa, primitive societies being presented. None of the ancient civilizations, such as the ancient civilization of Taseti, or the ancient civilization of Wat, or ancient Kemet, or the Nubian civilizations of ancient Kush, or the ancient Ethiopian civilization. All of that was hidden. And what was presented was that this is a dark continent of literally primitive and aspects of cannibalism. It was featured as literally non-civilized, okay? And then this justified literally slavery in the South, they were saying the purpose of slavery was to Christianize and civilize these Africans who had none of this civilization or this Christianity and what have you. So what we're looking at is over 400 years of a defaming of African Americans and of Africa. And the purpose was to support white privilege, white racism, and white supremacy. And this was during that time, Europe as well as European Americans were doing this. Things started changing after the Civil Rights Movement. And literally we had ancient African history scholars, we call them Kemetic scholars, who started preaching or who started studying ancient African civilization and then started teaching it with their books and their classes and their education, started teaching literally the actual condition of Africa and how Africa, the major elements of civilization were invented in Africa during the Old Kingdom period of ancient Kemet, what we call Egypt. And when we talk about those elements, we're talking about the first universities, the first libraries, the first cultural literary works, the first books, the first aspects of science. The scientific method evolved out of ancient Kemetic mathematics. The advanced mathematics in geometry, algebra, and trigonometry were invented during the Old Kingdom period of ancient Kemet. So how can you enslave people or colonize them because they are subhuman or uncivilized, where the foundational basis of Western civilization came out of the Old Kingdom period of ancient Kemet? How could you justify that? Now, for some urgent, blatant reason, they want to continue this what would you call it, defamation of Africa, to literally support the surviving aspects of white supremacy and what have you. The Arabic population in Egypt, not the population, but the government in Egypt, is doing this, trying to hijack our ancient cultural heritage, because they want to demonstrate that the ancient Egyptian people looked like the people who are running Egypt today. And so we have this dilemma that we're faced with, where we are allowing this to happen. And it's so blatant, so impossible, because all you have to do is go into the museums in Cairo, and you can see that the statue and the paintings of all four golden ages of ancient Kemet were of Black African royalty. But be that as it may, they are saying that we don't know what the ethnicity of the Egyptians were, but they're showing you animation and they're showing you actors in the documentaries on ancient Egypt of European and Arabic and anybody except Black African features. Now, this is preposterous. This is blatant racism that has to be confronted and has to be stopped. And one of the things that we're trying to do with my exhibit, as well as all the people in St. Louis that are teaching ancient African history, one of the things we're trying to do is to stop this defamation of Africa and this defamation of African Americans. I think I want to probably stop there or answer any questions, John, that you may have.
Yeah, I think Yeah, we've been having some technical difficulties today, and but we're rolling on anyway with the help of people like Merlin and Dr. Parr and so forth. So we're going to stop there, and hopefully our system will do us better next time.
John,
What I'd like to try to, yes,
John, it looks like
I'm getting ready to give you some time if I can.
It looks
Yes.
like it has been uploaded. And if not, I can save what I have to say for next week.
Okay.
So
you
want me
want to try to do it now, or
I'll try.
why don't you try for a minute? And if not, we'll just try to close it down. Why don't you try, Merlin?
It's downloaded, but I can't get it up running.
Yes. Okay, so I tell you what, why don't
Next
we do it? Why don't we do it next week, and that will be better.
All right.
This is how we'll close out the show. We'll have a few parting words from David Parr. We'll have some words, if he can talk, from Norman.
Well,
and then we'll let after I make this, and I'll do this quickly, we'll let Andre Owens kind of give us an update in terms of how he sees the show now. He was with us when we started. Now again, I apologize for us not being able to do it in the manner that it ought to be done. However, one of the pieces that Merlin was going to bring to us was activities within the St. Louis region. And believe it or not, on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday of this coming week, they have an event at the Gateway Arch. The Gateway Arch Park Foundation presents Blues at the Arch. These are free concerts from August 14th through the 16th, and they're free, and all are welcome. Let me give you the lineup of Friday. Friday at 5 p.m. on August the 14th, the Soulard Blues Band. And at 6:45, Mr. Sip. On Saturday, they start a little bit earlier. So get your picnic basket and go down up under the arch. You heard the weather forecast, so it's not going to be raining. So they tell us now. But at 2 p.m. on Saturday, Stevie J Blues will be on. At 3:30, they'll have Exploring the Blues Print in the Explorer's Garden, and at 3:35, they will have the Pack Dance demo, and which is at the kids' corner. So they have some things for both kids and adults. So any one of those for Saturday would be great. Also at 4 o'clock, the Lady J Houston show, jazz performance show. And at 5:35, again at the kids' corner, they'll have the Pack Dance demo, and at 6 p.m., the Duranzo Canon. And then at 8:30, they will have fireworks. All this is happening at the Arch. And then Sunday at 2 p.m., Devin C. Williams. At 3:35, the Pack Dance demo for the kids. And at 4 p.m. to close out the show, they have the thought for today? Dr. Parr?
Okay. I would like to, first of all, thank our audience for sticking with us through the technical difficulties that
Any
we
closing remarks?
And yeah, I just want to thank our radio audience for sticking with us through the difficulties that we had. And we really appreciate you. And Dr. Ross, I am always glad to hear your comments, especially about the defamation of the people from Africa, because in 1619, that's when chattel slavery started in this country, when they brought those people from Africa. And it is not as glamorous and as clean as some of the other people will have you think. In fact, the very word racism began in 1619 with the introduction of slavery in this country.
We're still waiting for you, Andre.
Oh, I thank you for having me. Dr. Jackson that's recently invited me back. And the reason why I'm here is it is my hope to give birth to Urban Homeowners Collaborative. And it centers around history, our history here in this country, specifically the Fair Housing Act of 1968. The banks are still breaking the law. They're just because they control media, they can just not talk about it and tell the media to not talk about it. However, the fraud is about to come out, and it is my hope that with you as educators, and specifically would like to actually capture those educated homeowners, because the fact that for me, I grew up as a salesperson, both in real estate and now life insurance, that the number one consumer is the
You're breaking
homeowner. If you can capture the homeowner, you've captured the world. I would like to utilize my own personal experience as a homeowner to actually guide other homeowners, especially in this environment where a lot of our teachers are being laid off, and AI is coming in, stealing all of our jobs. But I still feel that my intellect and my research capabilities were learned through the city public school system by teachers who actually cared for me, and actually I don't feel that I've actually had the success as an adult without my teacher. My aunt is actually a St. Louis retired from the St. Louis public school system. So I really admire you guys, and I really feel fortunate to actually be in this place with you guys. But I do want you guys' help to actually be in touch with other educators, other homeowners, because the future right now here in this country, America, is really gonna go south, real south. We all see it coming and what have you, but if there's ever a time for us to actually come together and collaborate with each other, not only just about our history, because the past is important, and we need to, especially right now, actually come together with to actually demand reparations, because the world has already spoken. So,
Mhm.
and but we need avenues just such as what we're doing right now to actually encourage one another and to actually convey information to one another, because this is kind of old school, um, but we do need more of it. We do need more collaboration. Do need to be more aware of what's happening in our community, and we need to stop being passive, because the fact that we know what's going on. I mean,
All right. Thank you, Andre.
Right.
And
So, thank you for having me.
Come back.
Will do.
yeah, and again, I'm not trying to cut you off. Glad that you joined us. You know, we're going to stop at 2:00, and if you can, um, I don't know if Norman got a chance to speak or not, but at this
Yeah, he
particular
did.
juncture, we're going to kind of close. Yeah, I know he did. We're just going to try to close the show down with a little music. And again, we regretfully apologize for us not being as clear as we ought to have been. We just had a couple of storms in our region, and so sometimes that impels or comes upon us. But as Dr. Parr said, the show must go on.
That's
So
right.
again, if Tavon can give us a little music, we'll be okay. Tavon, are you there? Well, it sounds like we're going to leave a little early then, because if we can't get the music, we're not going to simply fill the air with just talk. We're simply going to say thank you for joining us. We hope to be bigger and better next week, and we look forward to having you with us at our side as we bring you the Mindful Monday show. Good evening and have a great week. Have a great week. Take care. Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love.
Peace and love. Thank you.
Okay.
Be safe,
All right.
everybody.
Yeah, be safe.
Likewise. Have a great week.
All right. Take care. I'll call you, Andre.
Yes, please do,
Take
because
care.
I didn't interject as far as that the last grant as far as
Don't worry about it. We'll
veteran and
talk.
senior.
We'll talk about it.
All right.
We'll talk about it later.
All right. Thank you. Later.
All right. Take care, everybody. Take care, everybody. Everybody leave the site now, please. Thank you.